So append help you for what? Okay, who will explain me what is append for what purpose we use append function? Anyone?
Last, we can add the data.
Yeah, so we can add that at the last. So if you have a given list, okay, and if you want to add the new data point in the given list, use the append function, okay? And append will always add at the last, not in the middle, not in the beginning, always at the last, okay? For example, let's suppose I have this list 10, 20, 30, 40, okay? Here I want to add a new data point. For example, another list, auth 100. So do append, and here the data point that you're going to append or add, that will appear at the last. Okay, so this is the append function. Okay, so whenever you want to add data point at the last, use append. Okay, extend function is for what purpose? Anyone? Why we use extend function?
Extend to add to lists.
We can we can add 2 lists.
Yeah, so let's suppose, yeah, 2 data sets. So if we have 2 lists, list 1, list 2, okay, and if I want to merge or I want to append one list into another list, it's a kind of appending, okay. So let's suppose I have this list LST and I have another list LST1, okay. So this data point 1, 2, 3, this I want to append inside LST, or I can say I want to merge, okay, another list content I want to merge into my first list. Okay, in that case you can use extend. So for, let's suppose if I use lst dot extend lst1, okay, so what happens here, lst1, the content of lst1, the data of lst1 will get appended inside lst, and the data set of lst1 will come, you can see at the last. So it is just appending. Okay, so you appending one list content into another list content. Very simple. Extend. Clear? Okay. Next, insert. So append will always add the data point at the last. Okay, but let's suppose I want to add some data point in the beginning or in the middle, somewhere at some particular index. So in that case, we use insert. Okay, so insert always take index. At what index you want to add the data point. Okay, so here I can give some index. Okay, let's suppose here for this list, I have 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, and here I'm saying that at index 2. Okay, so in the index function, you have to pass 2 parameters. Okay, so the first parameter is always a index. Okay, so here I'm saying that index 2. So where is the index 2? 0, 1, 2, 30, right? So in place of 30, I want to add 1, 1, 1. Okay, so after inserting, what will happen? 10, 20, 10, 20, and in the place of 30, it will appear 1, 1, 1. Okay, and 30, 40 will just get shifted a bit. Okay, so insert is very useful if you want to add any data point in the middle, a particular index, then use insert function. If you want to add at the last, then always append function. Okay, it will, in case of append, it will always add at the last, not in the middle. But insert, you can control where I want to add the data set. You just pass the index, it will add that point. Okay, clear function is very simple, my friend. It will just remove all the data set. Okay, you have you have a list, you want to just clean up, you want to just remove all the data set from this list. Very simple, just do clear. Okay, lst.clear, and it will remove all the data set. It becomes completely empty. All the data set become completely empty. Okay, so this is the purpose of clear function. Clear? Clear is clear, right? Just remove all the data set. Okay, pop. Okay, pop is used for remove some data set. If you use clear, then it will remove all the data set entirely, completely, just flush out. Okay, but here I don't want to remove all the data set. I want to remove some particular data set, something. Okay, so in that case, you can use pop. Okay, so pop function is used to remove some data set. Let's suppose if I do lsc.pop. Okay, so in this case, the pop always remove the data point from the last. It will always remove the last data point. Okay, for example, here I have lst 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm saying lsc.pop. Okay, and after pop, I'm listing again printing. So here 40 will be gone. Okay, and the remaining will be 10, 20, 30. Okay, so pop always remove the data point from the last. Okay, this is pop. For example, here I have 4 data point, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, and here I'm calling the pop 4 times. First pop, second pop, third pop, fourth pop. So what will happen here in the if you call the pop first time, it will remove the 40. Second time it will remove 30. Third time it will remove 20. Fourth time it will remove 10. So everything got clear. So after if you call in pop 4 times here, so the remaining list will become empty, right? So it always remove the last data from the pop. Okay. There is one more variant of pop. So if you don't pass any index in the pop, so by default it will always remove the data from the last by default. Okay, but in case if you pass some index here in the pop, you can pass index as well. Okay, so here if you passing the index, then the data set which are sitting at this index will be removed. Simple. If you don't pass any index, so it always remove from the last. If you pass the index, it will remove the data from that index. For example, here I'm passing 3, pop 3. It means I want to remove the data point which are sitting at index 3. So what is the data point at index 3 here? 0, 1, 2, 3, 40, right? So it will remove 40 here, and the remaining will be 10, 20, 30, like this. Okay, so in pop you can pass a index, or you cannot pass. You can go with default pop without index. This is clear? Pop. And another way of removing the data is remove. So we have 2 functions for data removal. One is the pop function, or another is the remove function. Okay, so pop work with the index, and remove also remove the data. But here in the remove case, we need to pass the data, not the index. Okay, so pop work on the index basis. If you pass the index, it will remove the data from that index. Okay, and the remove case, you have to pass the real data point, not the index. For example, here from this list, I want to remove 20. Okay, so there are 2 ways. Either you can use pop function and you pass the index of 20, or you can use the remove function and pass that data point. Okay, so here it will remove the 20 like this. So remaining is 10, 30, 20, 40 like this. Okay, so remove always, let's suppose my data set is repeating. For example, 20, 20 repeating 2 times. You can see here. If you use only remove 20, so the first occurrence, okay, the first data point which appears, that will get removed. Okay, so it always remove the first occurrence of the data. I hope it is clear, right? Remove pop, this clear? Sunil, are you getting this?
Okay, sir, I got it, sir.
Okay. Next is the count function. Okay, so count is just counting. This, as the name appears, count. So it counts the data, how many each data point is repeating how many times, the occurrence of data point. Okay. For example, let's suppose in this list, okay, you can see that 10 is repeating multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, right? So here I want to count the 10. How many times that 10 is repeating in this list. So you can use count function. Okay, like this. Let's suppose I have this list and I want to check the simple. I want to check the count, lst.count, and pass the data point 10. So here I want to check 10 is repeating how many times. It will see the occurrence in the number of times, 4 times, right? You can see 1, 2, 4 times. So here 4 times the data set is repeating. So that's why it is giving me 4. So count is very helpful function to just give the number of occurrence, how many times is repeating. Okay. Reverse function is what? You have a list. Okay. You want to reverse the list, opposite. Okay. So there are multiple way of reversing the list. I think the simplest way is what? Slicing. Okay. So with the help of slicing as well, you can do reverse, right? So anybody know, tell me how to slice, how to reverse the list by using slicing? What is the syntax?
They use
colon -1. Okay, so this will reverse the list and it will produce another list. Okay, And if you print X, it will, you can see a new list, which is the reverse of the data. Okay, you can see that this list and this list got reversed. Okay, so this is one way of reversing using slicing. Another way is what list has its own function, reverse. You can use the reverse function as well. Okay, so if you use a reverse instead of doing slicing, I can say like lst dot reverse like this. Okay, the only difference, can somebody tell me what is the difference between slicing and the reverse function? Both
For slicing, we have to assign some variable.
Yes.
For reversing it, we don't need to assign anything.
Yeah, you're right. So slicing, what does a slicing will produce new data point. Okay, slicing will produce new list. Okay, but the reverse, how the reverse work, the existing list, it reverse the existing list, but it update the existing list. Okay, it will not produce any data point. So just do lst dot reverse and just pass here lst. You will see a reverse list. Okay. So this reverse is working on the existing list. It is not creating a new data point or new list. That's the basic difference. Okay. So this is one way of reversing. Either you can use a slicing approach or you can do reverse approach. Okay. Sorting, you know that sorting, what is sorting? To arranging the data point in either in the increasing order or decreasing order. Okay. So the Python list has one function sort. Okay. And by default, the data point are sorted in what order?
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Rajesh, in practical approach, slicing is suggestible, no? Because it doesn't alter the original data set.
Yes, it depends. It depends upon the situation, cases, the business requirement. If you have a requirement that, let's suppose you are getting some data point from external system, okay, and you don't want to change, alter the external system, the data set, the source of data which you are getting, you don't want to alter it. Okay, in that case, use slicing approach. So your original, your source of data will be intact. You're not going to alter.
Yeah.
Okay. In case of reverse, if you have the full authority, if you want to alter the data set, you can do. So that depends upon the problem statement.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, that depends. Sorting, if you use a default sort function, by default, what is the order of sorting?
Increasing order.
Increasing order. Okay. So if you use lst.sort, it will sort the data set in the increasing order. Okay. Let us try this. It's very simple. Let's suppose I have this. I hope you guys understand what is sorting, right? Sorting is a mechanism to arrange the data point either in the increasing order or decreasing order. This is called sorting. You can see here in this data point, there's no any pattern. Okay, there's no any such pattern. It's an increasing order or decreasing order. There's no pattern. So if you want to sort it in increasing order, if I say increasing order means what? You have to start from the lowest number, then you have to go to highest number. Okay. So in this list, what is the lowest number? 1. So you can see that if you do a sort, oh, I need to print it. Okay. Print the list. So it will
have 6 times 1.
Yeah, 6 times 1s, then 1, then 10, then 20, then 200, then 209. Okay, you can see the pattern. Okay, so this is jungle. Okay, this is in the source of data, there's no sorting, there's no any pattern. After sorting, you can see a clear pattern, right? It's increasing order, right? So you can use sorting to sort the data. If you want to sort in the decreasing order, so Python gives you one property here, reverse. Reverse is equal to true. Okay, this way you can do in the decreasing order. Like this. Okay, so this is very simple sorting. Okay,